So I'm Brett Lee, CEO and co-founder of AkiyaHub. I'm here with Shu Matsuo Post, my co-founder. You guys might recognize us from YouTube. Why are we here? We're not a real estate agency, and our goal is not to push properties on people. Our goal and hope is that if we reach enough people who actually love Japan, like hopefully everyone here in this room, that we can foster a really strong community of educated and culturally informed people, and together we can harness the market forces of supply and demand. And in 10 to 20 years, many regions of Japan and thousands of houses that would otherwise not be with us are. And we played a small part in making that happen. So, AkiyaHub is a community platform with lots of tools and resources and services. And we built a network of 300 real estate brokerages, property managers, renovation companies that are friendly to foreign owners, which is a kind of a caveat that you have to watch out for here. So how's it going? So as Ziv mentioned, we launched February 10th of 2025. And we attended the first Japan Real Estate Summit in April, and we had 3,500 members. It's a big time for us. We grew really fast. And then in October, we grew to 13,000 members, and that's when we were here at the last summit. And today, we're currently at 32,000 members, so we've 9x'd in our one year time being here. So it's pretty great. And with that growth on our platform, there's been a lot of growth in our team. So we actually just got a new office in Kamata in Otaku. We're on the 10th floor and we're building it out. It's kind of a work in progress. It's like 70% there, but we're going to start doing some in-person stuff that'll be pretty fun. And the best part is we're only 28 minutes from the airport. So we have a lot of members that fly in and they want to see us in person, but we were kind of far before. So now we have a full space that we can actually meet everyone in person, and we can do great stuff like this and talk to everybody. So we'll be announcing specifically where it is soon so that we can start doing some in-person things that hopefully I'll see you guys at. And we are hiring still. Currently the team's around 12, but we want to be around 20 by the end of Q3. So if you're interested at all in working in Japanese real estate, and not just on the real estate side, but with helping foreigners be educated and learn about Japanese real estate, you can go to akiyahub.com/careers. We have some of our team members here today, and you can talk with them, see if you like them or not. And if you don't have to work with us. But if you do like them, maybe you want to consider it. So the plan for today's talk, I love data, and Shu loves stories, so you're going to get both. And I'll start right with the key thing of the talk, which is everyone loves free stuff, right? And we see this a lot with the type of people that are interested in real estate in Japan. And everyone loves cats, and Shu's going to tell you all about cats after this. But all free things are not created equal. The way we look at it, there's really three types of free things. There are things that are truly free, like information and knowledge that we can give you here today. There are things that are free, asterisk, with conditions. So some of those conditions might be with purchase, or some of them might be you got to do something and you'll get something free. And then there's another type of free that costs a fortune later if you don't watch out for it. So the first thing we'll talk about are things that are truly free, like a membership on our platform. So you can go to akiyahub.com, click on one of those buttons, give us a little bit of information about what you're interested in and why you want to potentially buy a house in Japan. And then you'll get access to hundreds of free articles and guides on everything from specific location insights to specific property to what's a shogi door? Like, how's that even work? Why are tatami rooms here? And something important that I want to call out is that none of this is like AI generated slop. We actually have a full-time professional writer on staff, Sam, in the back of the room. Raise your hand, Sam. So he's our director of publications, and he spends pretty much every day, nights and weekends, just researching every question that everyone in the community has and writing really, really good human-created articles and guides for everyone so that they can be informed before they make a really big decision that's buying a house in Japan. So since everyone loves free stuff, one of the first things is once you create your free account, if you go to our data and reports, we're going to be giving away everyone the free gift number one, which is our 2026 Q1 market overview. So this is a lot of proprietary data that normally we would only use internally so we can make better decisions for our members and our own investments. But we're going to go over some of those things today. We have prefecture level pricing breakdowns, the property criteria discount curves, so like which things can you change about what you're looking for in a house to get massive discounts, days on market data right now for Q1, and a lot of other metrics. But today, I want to give you a little preview at the conference, but again, it's completely free. Once you create your account, you can go look at all of the data. And I do have to give a little bit of a data disclaimer, which is our data comes from 32,000 members, 300 partners, and you can interpret the data however you like because it's freely available. But this is our interpretation of the data. It's how we see the data. It's what we use to make decisions for our members and ourselves. So it's not necessarily right or wrong. You can interpret it how you want, but this is just how we do it. So one of the first questions I ask myself whenever we compile all the data is what changed? So we had the Q3 2025 market overview. What's the biggest change in Q1? Does anyone have any ideas what it might have been? There's a lot of volatility in the world and whatnot. So yeah, one of the biggest changes was prices, which is actually good if you want to buy a house because everything nationally, the median price, not average, median price dropped by 12%. So properties that were 100 grand, you can get for 80 now. And with that big drop, do you think more people bought houses or people were not buying houses? I think some of you might guess that a lot of people started buying houses. The market priced itself correctly and a lot of volume came through. So you look at Tokyo jumped from 40 to 64% sell-through rate. Chiba, Saitama, pretty much anywhere that's adjacent to a major metropolitan area went through the roof. Properties were averaging around 30 days before this in those same areas. 45 days is the average in the entire country, but around those areas, 23 days. So a property lists and it's gone in 2 weeks, and that's the average sell-through rate for these areas. So properties that you're interested in are moving really fast. So one of the key things is if you find a house you like, move fast because the market is moving incredibly fast in Q1 and it's accelerating to the back end of Q1. So Q2, I'm assuming, is going to be even faster. So one of the really interesting pieces of data as well that we found is the overlooked and undervalued properties. So for the exact same age of property, location, size, and square footage or square meters, and condition, if you go with an older style layout, 70% discounts in some scenarios. So if you want a 2LDK, get a 3DK. So that means that instead of a living, dining, kitchen space, you just have 3 bedrooms and a dining kitchen space. Use one of the other rooms as a living room. Like, be creative with it. Knock down a wall. Do whatever you want to it. But you can get a 70% discount. And this is across all prefectures. This is just, right now, the market highly, highly undervalues and underprices 3DKs, 4DKs, because the pricing is really thought of for the domestic market. And the domestic buyer currently wants the newest layout and all the modern amenities. But these properties are equally, sometimes the same builder. They're built in the same neighborhood, but just because of the layout, you're going to be able to get a 70% discount. So when you are searching, you might want to look at some of these other layouts that are a little bit kind of old style. So one of the other things, of course, so that's some truly free information. Let's talk about things that are free with condition. And the first condition is with purchase. So our platform, we have tons and tons of tools and resources, and it is a subscription platform, so you do have to pay a monthly membership or an annual membership in order to access all of the tools. But we give free updates to everyone who subscribes indefinitely. So you keep getting more and more value as we add more features, regardless of if you subscribed a year ago or if you subscribed today, you'll continue getting all those updates. An example of this is when we first launched back in February, our search wasn't really a search as much as it was a personalized property feed. So it was kind of like Tinder, where you go through a bunch of properties, you look at different ones based on your preferences, you swipe left or right, and instead of matching with Edgar, you match with this house. So that worked really, really well for people who were just getting started and didn't really know anything about the areas. They weren't as educated because there wasn't a place for people to be educated, right? People know maybe Tokyo, maybe Kyoto, sometimes Osaka, and that was it. But now that people have really become educated and they have a resource to, they need a little bit more sophisticated tools. So we built 2 more powerful search tools at no additional cost, so this is free with purchase. Our map search and our quick search. And they're for different entry levels of knowledge. If you're just looking at a prefecture in general, our quick search is really good to get a feel for the market. Like, what does generally look like in the type of house that you're looking for? And our map search is really good at kind of honing in once you do know a little bit more about the areas. So our map search has a lot of features. One of the ones that I like a lot is that you can build your own property radar. So you can look at things like price per square meter, the age, the floor area, or you can even define your own custom algorithm for how you value a property when you're looking at for investment or personal vacation use. And then you can color code the properties on the map so that you know which ones are outliers. So you can find those valuable properties a lot easier. We also added things like the train map so that no matter where you're looking, you can find how close you are to the train. And of course, you can look at all these properties and list views and see all the details about them. So the newest feature that we just added is a heat map. So let's say you do have a specific criteria you're looking for, a property between 95,000 and 135,000, built after 1981, and maybe 80 square meters or bigger. You can run the heat map and look at the entire map of Japan and see where those pockets of properties are that match the criteria of what you're searching for, again, for investment or vacation. So you can notice that, okay, maybe if we go west Tokyo, there's more properties that meet that criteria, or if we go further into Chiba in the south. This is a really, really helpful feature that we've been seeing massive usage for because a lot of people still don't quite know all the different regions and areas. So this is a good way to just find maybe an unknown town or like small offshoot from Tokyo that you might have never visited, but now that you see where the inventory is, you could find a really beautiful, nice house. So we really wanted to build these 3 tools so you can find your place in Japan your way, regardless of your education level and how much you do know about all the different areas of Japan. So that's one of the first things that we really wanted to expand for free for all of our members as we keep growing our platform. But search isn't enough. After you search and you find a house, there's a lot of other information you need. So one of the other things that we built and we launched with was an affordability calculator. So instead of saying how much you want to look for, you say, what is your total budget? And it'll back you into how much can you actually afford. There's a lot of other taxes and fees that are involved when buying a house. So this will say if you have a $100,000 budget, you probably want to be shopping at the top end at $85,000 because of all the taxes and fees and things that you might not be considering that are going to come up. We also added the full price estimated calculator, which is how we're able to do that, which is every single possible tax, fee, service, insurance, property management, everything you can think of is all there. So you can get really detailed on how much is this really going to cost me versus just looking at the listing price on properties. But that's still not enough. So we did more free updates. And we added, after the last summit, we had a lot of feedback that people are like, we love those calculators, they're great. But what about after I buy the house? So we built an annual ownership cost calculator. And this goes into a lot of things. So there's property details, the location and climate, because you might have to pay for snow removal, the usage, how often are you actually there? What type of property manager do you have? What are the insurances that you got? All of these fields, there's like 20 other fields as well that you can fill out with it. And then we give you an optimistic, a realistic, and a cautious overview of what are the actual annual and monthly fees look like after you buy a house. So this is one of the things that a lot of people don't think of, particularly when they have their budget in mind, where they're like, I have $100,000, I want to get a house in Japan. Great, you did it. Now what? Where do you have other money for the monthly, the annual things that you're going to have, including things like furnishing your house? Like a lot of people forget that the house is empty. Like they really don't remember that. Or that most houses in Japan, they don't come with air conditions. You have to put your own air conditions in, right? So these are things that we want to make sure everyone bakes into their own underwriting, regardless of what type of property they're buying. But that still wasn't enough. So we did more free updates, which is for investors. So a lot of investors, we have an investment program where we source a lot of off-market properties ourselves. We run them through different property managers, renovation companies to get all the numbers ahead of time so you know exactly what you're investing in. But some people want to do it themselves, and that's totally fine. So we built a rental cash flow simulator. So this simulator has around 120 fields that you go through, from the purchasing conditions, the building details, the income, expenses, everything. And you can actually take a property on our site and run it through this calculator. And then it gives you a really detailed view of your cash flow, yield calculations, expenses, when your payback period is, what your cash flow on a monthly, annual, up to 50 years if you want to calculate it that way. It's completely dynamic. You can control everything yourself, but we have some preset things if you just want to play around with it. So after all the updates and the free data and the feedback that we got, we built another tool. And this one's not free. So this is, again, one of those kind of free with purchase, but every subscriber, existing or new subscribers, anyone that subscribes today or tomorrow and a year from now, they're going to get 3 free credits for this tool. And it's really important to call out, this is a tool that could not exist until now because the amount of data required to actually build a tool like this that's going to give you accurate insights. And we call it property intelligence. So what it does is it looks at the entire market, and then it also narrows in on a specific property that you're interested in to give you a full rundown of, is this property a good buy or not? What's the market value really for this property? How does it rank compared to other properties? What's the range that you should be looking at? And then what's the quality of the data used to make these decisions? Because not all data is created equal. Then it shows you all the comps, because we actually can have historic sold and active market comps on the land values and the property values, and it gives you this full assessment on, is this a good buy? At least a good place to start whenever you're browsing. So a lot of times you might want to just browse, save 10 or 20 properties, and then run intelligence to see which ones are actually good deals. And we have price history now, which is something that is just not on, like if you're from the States or other countries, you got Zillow, things like that, everyone's used to seeing what's the history of this property. That data doesn't exist in Japan, but it does now. And one of the really important things to call out, and the reason why we are able to do this, and we didn't do it originally when we first started, is data is incredibly bifurcated all over. So if you go and see a property listing, you might see it on 20 different sites. You see it once on Nifty, 9 times on Yahoo, 10 times on Sumo, 16 times on Lifeful Homes, and 7 times on At Home. It's the same property, but it might be 20 different agents that are listing that same property. So if you try to build an intelligence tool that says, what's the value of this property? It's like, oh, there's 30 houses that look just like this one that are priced at this rate. It doesn't work if you can't deduplicate all of the housing data in Japan. And that's what we built our platform to do, so that when you look at properties, you know every single version of the property that you're looking at, regardless of how the agents want to list it. So let's talk about free with condition. And this condition is no purchase necessary. So Japan is easy to visit, but it's much harder to actually live in. And we wanted to create something for those of you who have felt that difference when you're here. And we wanted you to make more of instead of a week of temples and sushi photos, wanted this for people that are asking, like, could I actually live here? Would I still love it once the novelty wears off? And we created this book called the Live Like a Local Handbook. It goes through all the phases of from before you arrive in Japan, if you want to really live like a local and try it on for size, see what it feels like, to the first 24 hours, the first week, the first couple months, and then gives you a lot of templates and references and checklists to go through as you live here. So it's a really good personal guide for trying to live like a local. Normally we sell it for $97 for the digital copy, but today we're going to be giving it away for free to everyone here. All you have to do is sign up for your free AkiyaHub account and then send us a picture of you here at the summit with one of our team members, and you get a free copy of the book. We also have a physical copy that we are selling today, and it's 15,000 yen, so purchase is necessary. However, we only have 30 copies, and I think there's a lot more than 30 of you here. What we're going to do is, if you take a photo with one of our team members after you buy the book, you're going to get the annual subscription to the full AkiyaHub platform for free. It's normally $300. And that membership comes with 3 property intelligence credits, so you can immediately get started, and a basic property inquiry, which is a service where we reach out to the agents on your behalf and find out about a specific property if you're ready to move forward. So in total, that's around $12,000 worth of stuff we're going to give away for free. Whoever wants to buy the book, you can get that locked in. And then the team, there's 3 of our team members back there that you can hold up a copy of the book there. You get a book from Sam. He's going to be in the bar room with some books if you are interested in doing that. And there's one final free gift. So we have 32,000 members, but hundreds of thousands of members reach out to us literally every day. It's an onslaught of questions. And they're not buying, most of them are not buying in the next even 1 to 2 years. They are dreaming, they're exploring, and they're putting together a 5 to 10 year plan. And for those people, AkiyaHub might be a little bit too much. It's for people that are ready to make it happen. But not everyone is ready to take that first step, and they don't need the full ecosystem. So a lot of property sites in Japan are not built for foreigners. And the foreigner-friendly sites are often locked behind a paywall, even for things like basic search. And we notice a lot of sites recently popping up that at best are a subpar experience, and at worst, they're just complete scams. They don't try to help people purchase the house. They're just trying to draw attention that there are cheap or free houses in Japan. And those sites and stuff, from what I can tell, they're not even based in Japan. They don't have any operations here. They don't keep their data updated. They list properties that aren't even for sale. They just look really good online, so they try to convince people, oh, you can get a free house that's at an old temple, and it looks really great, but those aren't even real listings. They're taking advantage of people who do love Japan and want to explore and dream a little, but they're just not ready yet. And they charge for access, often more than we even charge for our full platform. And we've taken this personally, because our goal is to be the true front door for Japanese real estate. And bad actors impact all of us and everyone in the Japanese real estate community. So we've had just too many members come to us that have been scammed, or they've even lost money and they thought they were buying a house and they weren't. So there has to be a way to fight this. And going back to our mission at the beginning of the talk, like why we're here is to really try to solve, in our small way, a part of the Akiya problem. We really want these properties to still exist. They're beautiful, we love them, we love Japan. So our plan for the dreamers, in order to dream safely, they need a tool that has one job: property search. No fake listings, no homes that you can't buy, no leasehold traps where you can buy the house but you actually don't even own the land and you don't find out until after. So we created a new site called Akiya Hunter, where you can discover Japan's vacant homes in English 100% for free. It's our entire map search tool from AkiyaHub, all of the same data, all the ways that you can use our property radar and see all these properties. You get the full listings in English with all the original sources, and it's 100% free. You don't need to pay anything at all. You just sign up today and you can access it. So that's a good kind of free knowledge, free updates, free with purchase, free with no purchase necessary, and now something that's a truly free space for dreamers who are like 5 to 10 years away from actually buying. But as we said, everyone loves free stuff and cats, and not all free things are created equal. So there's one more kind of free thing we got to talk about, and it's the kind that shows up in all the headlines and that can quietly become the most expensive decision you'll ever make. And Shu's going to show you exactly what trying to get a free house in Japan looks like.
Just one second before you start, the streamers are asking if people on the Zoom can also get that free copy of the book that you mentioned.
Yes, I'll show you how to do that after the talk.
You will show us how to do that a little bit later.
Oh.
All right. You guys want something better? Better free stuff? Yeah? Yes. Yeah. Because I can promise you I have better stuff than Brett just gave away. Oh. It's a free house. So one of you in this room might walk away with a free house today in Japan. How's that? But there might be a big catch. So let me explain that to you, okay? All right, so raise your hand, be honest, if you want a free house in Japan. Okay, this is good. A lot more than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. All right, so a free house that I'm talking about today is not this kind. So I bought a free house in Fujisawa last year, about a year ago. And that short form video kind of went viral. I think on YouTube, 3.5 million views. Oh yeah, Emil, we went together. Yes, yes, yes. So this house was free. The structure was free. So I wasn't lying. But it's called Furiatsuki tochi, means land with old/free house, okay? So I did pay for the land. So it's like a little bit misleading. And there are a lot of people on the internet who do this. And I have to admit, I was one of them. But you know, I wasn't entirely lying. But today, I'm not talking about one of these houses. I'm talking about a free house, both land and the structure, full ownership, on a Cat Island.
That's the one you did?
Yes, that went viral on my channel. And those free houses in Japan actually do exist. There are quite a few of them. And I'm going to give you a story of one of them that I saw. And also 1.2 million people watched this video as well. Has anyone watched this video? Yeah? Oh, okay, a few of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So this one, the last time I checked, you got 1.2 million views on my YouTube channel. It's the most watched video to this day, and I only published it 2 months ago. So that tells me one thing. Everyone loves free houses, and more importantly, cats. Yeah, probably. So it was really on the cat island. So let me tell you where this free house is. Okay, so Seto Naikai, Seto Inland Sea, between Honshu, so this is Okayama-ken, and then that's Kagawa-ken, and there's a tiny island called Sanagi-to, which you have to take either a ferry, a boat, or maybe a jet ski. Okay, so I decided to take a private boat. I hired Fujiwara-san, and took us 45 minutes to get there. It's a beautiful ride. I recommend it if you have the time to get there. And it took me about 30 minutes once I got on the island to find this house. So this was the free house that was offered to me, and it looks decent, right? Yeah, it's not too bad. And it wasn't tilted like the one that I got in Fujisawa. It really wasn't tilted. So Sanagi Island, the population used to be over 1,000 a few decades ago. Now it's less than 50. The number of economy, nearly zero. So I went to a cafe and I did spend some money, but that was the only place on the island that I know of that makes money. So economy is almost nothing. There are a lot of cats. Yeah, they say about 100 cats. So, twice as many as humans living there. And there are empty homes everywhere on the island. So when you hear the word Akiya, right, you probably picture abandoned houses, right? Because that's what you see on the internet. But Akiya literally means empty homes in Japanese. Okay, vacant. So it could be vacant for a day or a decade. Okay, so that could be an Akiya. And sometimes that means truly abandoned like this. So I saw abandoned Akiyas everywhere on this island. So I was like, okay, this is not looking good. But the inside of the actual house, the free house that was given or offered to me, was pretty decent. So bathroom, obviously very outdated. All the rooms were outdated, but I've seen worse. This is not too bad, and it wasn't tilted, okay? And a stunning sea view. So let's talk about the price tag. You might be like, wait, Shu, you just said it's a free house. What are you talking about, the price tag? Well, what free actually means in this case. Okay, so the true cost of a free house. So if you were to renovate something like this, I'd say minimum it's going to cost you 5 million yen. So that's, what is that, like $35,000 to upwards of 30 million yen. So like, you either gut job or demolish it and build a new house, right? So abandoned, not just vacant homes, Japanese homes often require a really, really intensive renovations. And also, it comes with some taxes, annual property taxes, and if you have property management, you want to hire that person as well. So even the land and structure might be free, there will be some taxes. Okay. All right, so why are there free houses all over Japan? So there are some reasons, but the most common reason is inheritance, right? So Japan, aging population, declining population, right? So a lot of what happens is that some people who used to live on that island, in that house, they had kids, and the kids went to Osaka, Tokyo, those major cities, and the owners, the parents, passed away, and their siblings are outside of that area and have no plans on coming back. So they just leave it empty. And, they don't want to have to do with anything, but they still have to pay property taxes. What do we do? Should we sell it? No, there's no way we can sell it. Let's give it away for free. So that happens quite a bit, right? And usually, those houses are vacant for many, many years. And when that happens, you're going to start to see issues with roofs, plumbing, electrical, everything, right? For this house, you can't drive there, so it makes it that much harder to get there. You can drive a car to the ferry, and you can take the ferry to the island, but you can't actually go there, drive there. So no car road, it's on an island, so good luck with that. So this isn't a house, it's a project. Does anybody still want this free house? Yeah? Okay, let me continue. So the island problem. Like I said, so you have to take a ferry. And the reason why I decided to hire a private boat is there's only 2 times in a day that you could take a ferry. And I couldn't make it work, so I spent much more money to hire a private boat. But if you want to go cheap, there are ferry services that go out twice a day. And clearly, obviously, there's no hardware stores on the island if you wanted to do any renovations, right? So every tool, material costs you more because the ferry fee is there and the time, right? And the contractors, there's no professional contractor on the island, obviously. So you would have to bring someone from either main island or Shikoku. So a typical 3 million yen renovation might be a double. Okay, so what the people who watched my videos, what they watched is a vacant house for 0 yen, traditional Japanese house, tatami rooms, 1 bathroom and a toilet, and a stunning sea view that you saw. Also, government subsidized to attract new residents. So, if you can't pull that off, maybe it might work, but it is still a big hurdle to go. So, as you can see, free is never free. Even though I explain all of these points, I got some really, really interesting comments on YouTube. Okay, is there good Wi-Fi? Because I'm moving there tomorrow. True story, yeah. I'm jealous. It looks like a good place to fish in. Dude, you're so lucky to live there for free. And just a win and 100 cats, my dream home. Okay. I hope they watched the entire video, but they still commented. So which means everyone loves free stuff. Okay. So this will not work for most of you, 99.99% of the people. But there's one guy who might be able to make it work, maybe. And that guy is this guy. So I did a video on this guy as well recently, and his name is Hitori de Dekiruman DIY, aka Hitori DIY. And he's got a pretty big following. Last time I checked, 279,000 subscribers on YouTube, and this is the kind of stuff that he does. It's really entertaining. I highly recommend you to subscribe to him. So who is he? He's a Japanese man in his late 30s. He has a family. I think he's got 3 or 4 kids, but he works solo. And he buys dirt cheap, almost free houses, really, really distressed houses, fixes them alone, and rents them out to locals. And his average purchase price of a house is 800,000 yen, which is $5,500. So, like, almost free, right? And his average return, 100% plus, easy. So what makes him different? He does 99% of the labor himself. And he has a full-time job. This is not his full-time job, even though he does pretty well. He actually owns and runs a lacquering business. No contractor, no crew, just him. So his economics, let me go. This is the first deal that he did. So he got a house for 300,000 yen, which is $1,900. You can't even buy a cheap used car for that. Materials, he spent 700,000 yen, which is $4,400, sorry. Again, very, very cheap. labor costs that he spent on other people is 0. Time, 2+ years, and evenings, weekends and evenings. So total all in, 300,000 plus 700,000, so 1 million yen, which is about $6,300 today for a renovated house. But if you were to hire this out, easily it could cost 15 million yen, so a little less than 100 grand. So as you can see, the sweat equity is this business model. Okay, so if you remove the DIY, this will not work. Okay, so the formula is this. If you can say yes to all these conditions, this might work for you. So let's go over the 5 conditions. 1, you have the skill to do the work yourself. Okay. 2, you have the time to do the work yourself, between 2 and 5 years of time to invest. 3, you live in Japan already, so you can be on site during the renovation. 4, you have the cash for material and special contractors. And 5, you actually want this lifestyle. This is a different lifestyle. Yeah. So if you decide to do DIY, you're going to live very differently. People will look at you differently. It's kind of like getting a tattoo on your face, maybe. I wouldn't know, but I'm guessing that's a very, very different lifestyle. Okay, so who should not do this? So investors expecting rental income from year 1 or even year 2. Remote workers wanting a unique home office. Retirees looking for a low hassle, cheap vacation home. So anyone without construction and project management skills. Anyone wanting to live in the house within the first 2 years. And anyone without 2 to 3+ years of patience. Okay? So assuming that's all of you in the room, right? Do you still want this free house? No?
Well,
Okay.
Matt's out there. I mean, he's definitely.
We'll talk. So what do smart buyers do instead? Oh, sorry. There was one line there already, but.
Sure, just letting you know, you won't have that much time for Q&A.
Okay. I have just a few more slides. They make sure the location works first before looking on a house. Search for a vacant house, not an abandoned one. Spend a little more upfront to save a lot more later, right? So usually better quality home with light reno is almost always better than bad quality home with a big reno. And partner with a local renovation company, don't DIY. And focus on the lifestyle you want. Don't just buy because it's free or cheap. Okay, so the real lesson here is that every deal has a hidden price, right? So low price, high time, and low time equals high price. Low risk usually means low return. And Japan's free houses are just the most extreme version of this truth. Okay, so like I said, like Brett said, everyone loves free stuff. And cats, right? And next time you see a free house in Japan, I hope you think of me.
Thank you, Shu. And sorry.
Couple more, yeah. And what we learned today about free is that not all free things are created equal. So I hope you remember that. Thank you very much.
It's a lesson for me. I've learned 15 years here, and I still interrupt people. Japanese pace of talking is, I think, that takes some getting used to. We can do a few very, very quick questions, and then we will be off to lunch. But before you go off to lunch, there's something that I'll need to share on the screen with you. So bear with me a few more minutes. Yes, question.
Oh, sorry. Hi, good morning. My name is Ritarsha Furkan. I actually had a question for your partner. Hi. In your presentation, no, you stay there, it's fine. Oh. In your presentation, you showed a comparison between Q3 and Q1. I was curious why you chose to do that instead of showing Q4.
Didn't run the data. We have the data, but we didn't run it.
Okay.
We could. Particularly in Q4, the market was weird. Like, it was actually really weird. A lot of stuff was going on around the world, as you can imagine, and the market shuddered a little bit and did stuff that didn't look right in the data. So we did kind of run it, and I said, we should probably wait for things to settle down. And then the Q1, everything tracks really well and makes sense. You could see the big difference without like a COVID type event where it's like it just ruins all the data.
Do you think the new government changeover might have had something to do with that too? Because we know there's a lot of people like hesitating as soon as they started talking about limits on foreign purchases and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the big announcements of updates to changes, which are really nothing burger of changes, happened in January. So everyone towards Q4 of last year was just waiting. They're like, oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to change? Are they going to ban foreigners from buying houses? They didn't. But everyone was worried, so it also changed a lot of the dynamic there, and the market just kind of was waiting to react, and then Q1, they came back strong, as you can see.
All right, further questions?
All the way over there? Okay, so we'll walk that way, sorry, one by one.
Hello. I want to introduce myself just briefly, real fast. Shu, I'd contacted you last year on social media. You replied to me. My apartment building was shut down immediately. I had to go into a contract settlement with the new owner. And in 20 units, I got the most money of anyone in the whole building. And I'm the only foreigner there. And they listened to me. I named my price. They said, name your price. I named it. My wife said, don't ask for that. They gave it to me. Okay? I'm going to be here today and tomorrow. If you wish to approach me about this, I'm happy to talk about it. I have a non-disclosure agreement. I can't tell you how much I got. Shu, real quick. On your property you just described, could you move in, if you had bought it, did you need any kind of permit? Was there running water? Was there electricity? If I bought that for free, could I bring a blanket and occupy the property, or do I need to contact the government or the local government to ask if I'm allowed to occupy the property immediately? So that's my question. And you bought, how much did you pay for the land? You said you bought the land for that too. And could you, day one, could you occupy it, or did you have to make improvements for electric or water or toilet or plumbing before you could occupy it? Thank you.
You're talking about the free house in Seto Naikai, right? Okay, so I don't own it, but I know the owner who wants to give it away. She wants me to have it, and I said, let me find a taker first. But yeah, if you want it, it's
My question is,
yeah.
if you bought it today,
Yeah.
could you grab a blanket and occupy that house today?
Well, you can camp anywhere.
Yeah.
And there's lots of water around the house. Like, there's
If you close today, it's yours.
No
Yes.
water and power and toilet. Am I legally allowed to occupy?
Of course
Yes.
you are.
Yeah. It's yeah. Yes.
Sorry, one question from the stream before I hand it over to Rob.
Robert, and that'll be the last one, I'm sorry.
We'll be outside.
They were asking if the services, where is that? Oh yeah. Is there an advantage to join AkiyaHub for foreigners who own properties, have lived here, but want to be informed and get answers to questions to stay up to date? I think I know the answer.
Well, absolutely. Make a free account first. Don't join if you don't see the value, but make a free account. Read a bunch of the free resources. There's a ton. See if there's more, because we talk about a lot of the paid stuff as well, but if you just want to be part of the community that's kind of trying to help make change here, absolutely join. We have discussion posts, like you can all talk to each other on the platform as well, which happens a lot. A lot of people ask questions and help answer stuff because they've actually experienced it versus someone just like researching online how something works. So absolutely join if you want to be part of the community.
Thank you for your time.